The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Gideon Block, a paladin of Daga, bringing her justice to the wilds of Ritoya.
I'm Konnor Shenold, and I play Konnor with a K, the Kobold Sorcerer who's finally out of the bag.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play Zonimus Dinar, a roguish warlock controlling his fate with chaos.
I'm Kiri Hester, and I play Poppy Tealeaf, a highborn halfling druid who has forsaken her family for the call of the frontier.
I'm Brooke Bullock, and I play Moran Stoneshaper, a young dwarf sorcerer wielding his arcane gifts to delve into the mysteries of the wilderness.
And I'm Ash King, your dungeon master. Join us now for Tales from the Callban Frontier. Morning dawns on the frontier. You slowly awaken to the sounds of the elven camp coming alive around you. You can smell the scent of cooking fire and whatever game they're roasting as the day begins. Gentle noises of the horses, the sweet smell of prairie grass and Dawn's flowers, her paintbrush. What are you all doing?
I think for the first time, Gideon sleeps in and lets everyone else wake up first because he is quite content to be where he is at this moment.
I'm gonna get up with Wildfire and go do his morning business and run some laps and stuff. Let me ask you this about elves. Mm-hmm. Are we kind of like Middle-earth style elves with our hair? Like it's very down, maybe a couple of little braids, or is it more intricately, more native style?
It's kind of a mix. It may be a cultural thing, and it may have just like different...
between tribes and stuff like that, I'm sure.
Different tribes, different meanings, different ways that they wear the hair, you know. One might be, this is, I'm taken, and, know, I have a partner whom I love very much, so
adorable.
Don't flirt with me.
I only asked because Poppy's hair, she cut it off, and Jubilee fixed it, but it's still kind of in my face. So if I could get some piggy tails or something, that would be great. And some nice girly time. I don't spend a lot of time with women. So finding a braid circle or some breakfast or some laundry, just spend some time with other female.
You want to the ladies' auxiliary and gossip. The hens.
Listen, you guys are great, and don't get me wrong, you have emotional depths, you're not like macho men, but still, sometimes it's nice to have some other ladies or lady-leaning people to talk to.
As you leave the tent, Moran has in his sleep rolled over and thrown an arm over the kobold, and he's got his face buried.
Konnor wakes up to Moran being wrapped around him, and he's like, Moran, wake up.
I'm up.
So let me ask you
Let go of me.
Oh, wait, we're in a tent. Okay.
Are kobolds warm-blooded or cold-blooded?
Cold.
So he would be keeping you warm like a lizard rock.
Yeah, but he's still touching me.
Why are you sleeping so close from him? He gives you a little shove away, even though he was the one that moved in.
Zonimus
Anyway,
gets up
wake up.
and I'll leave you two alone, and stumbles out and looks around, trying to wonder where Alpix would be, and maybe doesn't try too hard to find out. Starts looking for eggs. Start smelling the air for
These are
breakfast.
elves. They're not orcs. No orc egg omelets.
You wander around the camp for a little bit, just kind of checking out what's going on. And again, it's very communal living style. There seems to be, a couple places where people are going and like picking up food for the morning before they head out to different places. You actually do notice Eopics over kind of with what seems to be like the elders. So these are, elves of great age who are actually have kind of given him like a place of honor amongst them. Because, if it comes right down to it, as far as individuals who have life experience, like he's got them all topped.
He's let them into his group.
Yes. Yes, exactly. But yeah, you just kind of notice him like lounging on his side on like this big kind of just auroch hide that's been spread out, just lounging there, soaking up the morning sun, enjoying a decent rest.
I'm gonna kind of walk that direction, not like I'm walking towards him, but I'm gonna keep an eye, see if he notices me.
He does actually turn his head towards you and sits up a little straighter.
Well, now I have to go. I'll slowly approach. I don't mean to disturb your counsel. Just want to see how you're feeling.
It's a new day. I've awoken.
It's another day.
Can't complain too harshly.
They're taking care of you.
Yes.
What do you think about what we're doing here? What we're about to go do?
I think you are one of the bravest sons of a gun that I have met in a long time.
About 5,000 years.
Give or take.
Well, that's a pretty big compliment from someone who grabbed my hand and jumped off the side of an airship.
We survived.
Here we are, 5,000 and a few weeks later.
Something like that. You strike me as someone who knows what he wants and goes for it.
I've been known to do that, yes.
I admire that.
Thank you. Sometimes once I get what I'm going for, I don't know what to do with it.
That, my friend, is the eternal question. Are you going to enjoy it while you can, or are you going to just allow it to slip through your fingers like the waters of the Great Mother River?
What is his body language and facial expression as he's saying this? Is there an innuendo in here that Zonimus is missing, or is he really just talking about the grand scheme of life?
You actually notice it maybe seems to be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It's like he's kind of trying more to feel you out. Like he's willing to go for it, but you got to be willing to meet him halfway.
So right now what I really want is just kind of pause and for a moment, almost like he's lost, and then just snap out of it and say, breakfast.
Well, let's go then. He'll get up, kind of dust himself off, pat one of the elders kind of on the shoulder as he gently kind of approaches and like nudges you with his shoulder to make sure you're
All right.
ready to move.
I'll follow. I'll go beside him. How's the, I'll wave my hand over my chest.
It feels strange. I carried the feather for so long that now I don't have it. It's just like...
Piece of you's gone.
Exactly.
Don't know where you're gonna fill it with.
No.
Don't know if you can get the thing that was there back.
Precisely. I miss it, but at the same time, I feel the freest that I've been in 5,000 years.
You're not angry?
No.
A rage building up inside you, wanting to...
No. I probably should, seeing as I was charged with the duty to protect it, but it's been 5,000 years, Zonimus. And after that long, you just get tired. If you manage to take it back, I'll take it back. But if you don't, I don't blame you.
I lost something once. I've lost a lot, actually, but I lost something one day, and I don't know how I lost it. I still try and piece it together, and some days it makes sense, and some days it doesn't. But this thing I lost has made me angry. This thing I lost has changed me. And this thing I lost is in that mesa. And whereas you say if what you've lost is retrieved, or if it isn't, it's the same. Well, that's definitely where you and I differ. Because I'm not tired. But then again, it hasn't been 5,000 years.
So for you, this loss was raw, was harsh. It stole more from you than what you initially expected. But what you should ask yourself, Xonimus, is, was there a reason that you lost what you did? And perhaps is seeking it out to retrieve it the thing that's going to serve you moving forward?
Xonimus kind of gets a look of confused anger at the thought of, was there a reason? And then starts thinking to himself, am I either A, looking for revenge, B, trying to do the right thing, or C, trying to stop being the victim? And then he just goes silent.
I mean, it's definitely one of those things where a being of 5,000 years, he's just as comfortable with silence as he is with speech. He stays close by and just lets you mull over whatever you need to mull over. Gideon.
Yeah. Oh, wait. They want to leave?
You wake up and you're the last one, like everyone else is out of the tent.
And I realized that I've been sleeping in, and I have overslept everyone else leaving.
Actually, I will say, so you roll over, waking up, your party is gone, but you do see sitting cross-legged at the side of your bedroll. It's an elf, about 20 years old, so gangly teen phase, young girl, and she's got her head tilted to the side as she looks at you. As soon as she sees that you're awake, she says, "They said you're older, the older son."
Oh, I am. How long have you been sitting there looking at me? Yeah, I am the older, I guess. You must be my little sister.
That's what they say, but I don't know if I believe it.
Well, what would you believe?
She just grabbed her chin and is just thinking really hard. I don't know.
Well, you and I do share the same mother.
That's what they say.
Yes. Well, and I understand your doubts, because I haven't been around. But, yeah, I was probably well into my 30th year before you were born, and so I guess that would make me the older, if that math works for you. I didn't catch your name, by the way.
I am called Little Wild Dreamer.
Little Wild Dreamer. May I ask how old you are?
I have passed 20 summers.
That's what I thought. Well, I have passed 51.
Impressive.
I know. And so what do you do for fun, Little Wild Dreamer?
Mostly cause a little bit of trouble around the camp.
Well, and then you take after your mother very, very well when she was younger. She hadn't told you that, has she?
She kind of narrows her eyes a little bit. No, mother has always been responsible.
Well, she hasn't always been responsible. Before you were born, she was her own woman and left and explored the wilds.
See, this is what I want to know, because Mom's got a great deed name, Wildheart Who Returned. But nobody wants to talk about where it came from.
Well, I used to know her as Ilyana.
The hidden name.
Yeah, I knew her growing up when I was not exactly your age, but kind of in that same age range when I was just a little boy. And she left us to return to her people. We'd actually used to come back and visit whenever it would travel around.
Yeah, I always figured there was a reason we didn't go too far south these days.
Right.
Some of the elders complain.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there's been a lot more movement by the humans and by the dwarves than there used to be back when I was young.
Ah, the short, stinky ones.
They're not all bad. The dwarf that I travel with, Macron, he's a really good guy. You should get to know him better.
He moves like an awkward fawn.
Well, yes. But he has a very kind heart. He's a very caring person. And I think that for all of us, we're learning new things about this frontier, either things that we never knew or things that we'd forgotten. For the past 30 years, when I haven't been around your people, I'd forgotten the grace and majesty of your people.
You keep saying this, your people, but aren't you one of us?
I am, but I'm also not. I wasn't raised here. You've lived an entire life amongst the tribe. I haven't. I've lived mostly amongst the humans and the dwarves, the halflings.
That must have been terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but it was different. They have a different way of looking at the world as some place to control, as some place to bring in order. It's like the river. It flows as it will. Your people allow it to go where it wants to go. It's all up to the river. Whereas the people back east, they want to control it and move it in their direction to water plants or to bring drinking water to their people. And so that's the difference I see between your people and the people back east. And I'm torn. I'm not really of the people of the east. I'm also not really of the people of the tribe. I'm kind of in between worlds. That's one of the curses of being the kind of race that I am, that I'm not of either world.
Never thought about it like that. Half of one, half of the other. The two dueling inside for supremacy.
And really not welcomed by either both times. So I have to find my own way in the world.
Well, Mama certainly said you were welcome here. She actually has something to give you. I was supposed to come get you.
All right. Little Wild Dreamer, I was good talking to you. Little sister, you are blessed with a great heritage, a great mother and father. Don't ever forget that, because eventually you're going to move on. You're going to go running, doing your own thing. You're going to be free as the wind. Don't forget where you come from, because these are good people. And eventually, someday, you will come back, and you will lead them just as your mother did.
We'll see. She's a lot to live up to.
Oh, I have no doubts that you will live up to and exceed everything that your mother has done.
Stop sounding like an elder. Ugh, this is a headache-inducing.
I can't help it. I'm in my 50s. So let's
You're
go get...
still young. That's only half my age.
I know, but when you've got that half-human side, unfortunately...
Oh, the fast blood.
Yeah, we don't live quite as long.
That's what Mom says. Your hearts beat like so fast that your blood just goes running like twice as fast through you, and then it just causes you to age like twice as fast.
And also means we have to try and get things done now. We don't necessarily have the patience to wait.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, that's good, because you don't have to wait for things. But on the other hand, at what cost?
Yeah. And things go by too fast sometimes. So let's go see your mom.
Yeah, come on. Let's go. She hops up, very dexterously and quickly leads you out of the tent into the morning sunlight. Moran, Konnor, y'all doing anything special?
Knowing Moran and Konnor, I'm pretty sure, especially Moran, the first thing would be to see what's cooking.
I was gonna say to find food.
Exactly.
Find food.
You smell that? Where's that coming from?
Oh yeah, that smells good. Where's that coming from?
Let's go.
Y'all toddle over and you do find basically one of the communal cooking pits where you see one of the hunters who is finishing up this nice, hunk of roast, probably like deer haunch, probably fresh caught just that morning. There's, various fruits and things that have been gathered from the plains that are just sitting out in baskets. You do see a couple youngsters running by and quickly snag some, snack packs for the day and then just run off. Very relaxed, very serve yourself.
How are they reacting to a kobold and a dwarf being in their midst?
You, Konnor, they don't seem to mind that much, because kobolds, they're not common, but they know about them out here. Moran, on the other hand, does get some suspicious glances.
I didn't think about that. We would totally be
The
super
weirdos.
weird.
Yeah.
Some suspicious glances, some curious.
For a moment, I think that obviously they must be staring at Konnor. And then I realize, oh wait, they're staring at me. And I do the little pit check. No, that smells normal. I walk over to the guy that's closest to is it kind of like on a cooking rack, or they pulled off the meat and set it on a...
Yeah, they're
on a flat iron?
they're kind of cutting off strips and setting it out and, just making sure there's enough to go around.
Moran, knowing his citified Elven, he gives Konnor a little nudge. I got this. Good morrow, and forsooth unto thyself, my friend, my compatriante and me. We have come unto thee for sustenance and to break the fast of the night. In Elven. Slow and loud.
So the elven warrior who's kind of standing there like helping out with like, the breakfast, just kind of looks at you with just this incredulous like, first off, it was like it didn't even expect you to speak Elven. Second off, didn't expect you to speak Elven like that.
like bad textbook old Elven.
Yes. And it's almost like your textbook Elven versus colloquial Elven. Like hearing him, there's a few words that don't like necessarily translate very well because you're like, wait a second, what does that mean? Like that's close to this other word, but I'm not sure if that's what he's actually talking about. And it's just like, and almost in like a mocking manner, hail and welcome, short one.
I give Konnor an elbow, like, see?
We have brought forth the bounties of the plains here for you to partake of. Please, grab yourself one of the fine flour tortilla and load upon it the gift of the gods, that is the meat that has been flavored with the herbs and the spices. Hope you don't burn your tongue.
I think he said it's spicy, but delicious.
Is that what he said?
I'm pretty sure. And he definitely said get a bunch.
Okay, sure.
Moran bows deeply, and then slips over there and like grabs little tongs, like
Breakfast burritos?
makes himself this ginormous breakfast burrito.
You gotta like do the double tortilla.
Double swaddle. And then like you see him lean over to like one of his companions, just like, this is gonna be good.
Is Konnor waiting to see what happens? Okay, so like,
Hey, take a bite.
all right, no clue that anything. he just and then just like kind of squeezes it tight, and then like tries to get the whole end into his mouth, and just like little juice, little spices kind of dripping down the beard a little bit there. Classic dwarven munch.
Give me a con save versus the spice.
It's a natural 9. So
you take this big old bite. Oh, so good. Oh, water.
Endless decanter of water right in his mouth.
I'm getting my hair braided.
And you just hear the howls of these elven warriors.
Moran, you have belt consent.
Konnor joins in the cackling.
From the other side of the eatery, I'm like, oh, Moran's up.
Greetings and salutations, my friends. I'm Michael Cross. So great to have a moment to talk with you during this mid-show break. First off, I want to invite you all to join us as Patreon members. The money we raise helps us pay for things like the music and sound effects you hear on the show, as well as money to go to events and make new fans. When you become a Patreon member, you get our episodes 4 days early, bonus content, access to our Discord server, and full versions of our roundtable discussions. You'll be joining other fans like Scott Wise, Don Mills, Heath Mormon, and the Lady Kate. So join us right now at patreon.com/reddirtdnd. Another way to support us is by getting your very own Red Dirt merchandise. You can find things like hats, hoodies, mugs, and t-shirts. Just click on the merch tab at reddirtdnd.com or reddirtrpg.com. Since 2020, the Red Dirt D&D podcast has been close to another Oklahoma actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast, D20 to Curtain. And me personally, I've had a chance to work on stage with some of the actors on the show. So when you get done with this episode, you should check them out.
Hello, fellow D&Ders. My name is Jerome.
I'm Jennifer. I'm Jody.
And together with our friends Kara, Timothy, and Jared, we are the cast of the D20 to Curtain podcast, where Oklahoma theater geeks and their friends hit record and explore our new addiction to Dungeons & Dragons.
We think D&D is more than just a game. It helps us tap into the enduring power of storytelling.
We combine live gameplay with behind-the-curtain episodes to share our experiences, insights, habits, discoveries, and passion for D&D with anyone who will listen.
We hope D20 to Curtain will make you laugh, cry, maybe even make your experience at your table even more satisfying. Check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts or visit us at d20tocurtain.com or at D20tocurtain on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We look forward to having you. All we ask is that you have fun, be kind, and play the role.
If you're looking for more content, make sure to check out our YouTube page with Mysteries of Beatrix live every Wednesday. Keys from the Golden Vault from the Red Dirt Outlaws dropping every Tuesday at noon, and Plausible Deniability every other Thursday at 7 p.m. So come check it out at youtube.com/@RedDirtRPG or search for Red Dirt RPG on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. Find us on social media at Red Dirt RPG. You can also get in touch with us through our website at reddirtrpg.com. In the meantime, make sure and subscribe to this podcast and leave a comment on your favorite podcatcher so others can find us. All right, I think that's everything I need to tell you. Right now, let's head back to Red Dirt D&D.
Well, while your friends are enjoying themselves, you come to the chieftain's tent once again, where you do see Chief Wildheart is out holding council for the morning, speaking with some of her warriors and a couple of the elders, and just your sister kind of just pauses and like puts a hand on your arm, just like, wait, give her just a minute. She's almost done. I can feel it.
How tall is she?
Wild Dreamer is, so again, it's kind of that gangly teen phase. Right. So she hasn't hit that like final growth spurt yet. So she kind of comes up to like just under your shoulder is the top of her head.
Okay.
After a few minutes, it does seem as if council is dismissed and the other elves slowly filter away. And then she turns to both of you and motions you over. She says, I see that my messenger got to you.
Before I even woke up, and I say, good morning, Mother, and I give her a kiss on the cheek.
She will return the kiss to your cheek and just gently kind of ruffles Wild Dreamer's hair as she motions you over to her fire. And she sits down and says, I have something for you, Gideon.
Indeed.
And she reaches into one of her pouches and pulls out a necklace. And it has a little carved charm. Looks like it was carved out of some sort of bone. And it is a little horse charm on this leather necklace that she hands to you and says, this charm will always allow you to find us. Wherever we roam, following the wind, you will be able to follow our steps.
I'm going to just bend over and allow her to put it around my neck.
Yeah, she'll slip it over your head and tightens the knot so that way it's not going to fall off, but it rests down on your chest, just over your heart.
I feel like this is a part of home now.
Good. That's what I always wanted for you.
Your daughter, my sister, and I had a long talk about being a part of a tribe, and for the longest time I never felt home here or back east. Finally, I feel like I do have a home and something worth fighting for.
She nods. You do see a little mist in her eyes. She says, I do blame myself partially for that.
You shouldn't. You had an entire people to think about. I had to go about my own path. I am happy that Dogga led me along that long path to finally bring myself here. I don't know if I would appreciate it as much as I do now, because for the longest time I always knew I had something to die for, to be a part of Dogga, to be her messenger, to be her champion. There was something to die for. But finally, right now, I feel like I have something to live for. And I thank you for that, bringing me home and making me realize there's something to fight for and something to live for.
Good. Such things can be difficult to find in these days, but I'm glad we can be that for you, Gideon. Dreaming Fox is prepared to go with you, to lead you towards the mesa. Let me know whenever you and your companions are ready to go, and I will ensure that he escorts you.
Well, from the sounds of it, Macron's having breakfast.
She kind of lifts up her head and that head tilt, because Elven sense is very particular. Ah, yes, the sound of the uninitiated dining on elven cuisine for the first time. Always entertaining.
It takes some getting used to. Yeah. I think we want to head out as soon as possible. If it's going to take us a couple of days to get there, then we want to move as soon as possible. By the way, just to let you know, you're, and I want to do this a little bit more toward her ear, kind of as I'm going in to hug. Mm-hmm. Don't hold back your daughter too much. She has the wild heart that you did. She's got to go out and explore too. Let her be free, just as you were.
She will, when the time is right.
And I give her a kiss on the cheek and I say, Mother, I look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Our paths will cross, if the gods allow. She would put her hand on your shoulder and give you that reassuring squeeze, and then just kind of pat you off. Go, make sure your dwarf isn't destroying my camp.
You come around the corner and Moran is near a water barrel or their other collection thing, and the top of his shirt and his shoulders and his head and his beard, they're just drenched, you know.
That stuff is delicious. It's absolutely wonderful. You should have some.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a taste that you gotta get used to, Moran. I go up and slap him on the back a couple times.
It's like a burrito, and it's a thing, and and then there's a spice to it that, I think my voice will come back in a little bit. Konnor, did you have any?
Yeah, it was delicious.
He's just looking at you like your voice is completely normal. He's like,
oh yeah, it's that Kobold thing. It's the throat and the fire.
Yeah.
Zonomus, you're there with
I'm there eating somewhere, yeah.
So I'm probably also just floating around.
He's just like, yeah, I was gonna say, I can imagine
Having an
Zonomus, like,
apple.
Zonomus and Eopix went and got breakfast together, but, like, Eopix is, like, done with his, and it's just laying, just, like, whole back on, like, Zonomus, like, head on the shoulder, just, like, watching the rest of the shenanigans.
Did Poppy come back with her hair done?
Yeah, it's cute.
She got her hair did.
what does it look like?
It's just, there's some braids in there.
Yeah.
It's out of my
It's a-
face.
Some little feathers and
It's a very traditional kind of elven, like, they gave you, like, the young girls' braids, because that's how they
I'm-
kind of see you.
And I'm small and not great at socializing.
But yeah, it's like the cute, it's just the cute little, like, pulled back so that it's not flopping in her eyes.
Because I can't put it in a ponytail very efficiently since we lopped it all off. I've just been using my hat to kind of hold it back.
I was thinking we should probably head out as soon as possible. We've got a still 2-day trip to get out there. Is Dreamin' Fox around?
He meanders up
Dreamin'
very
Fox,
casually.
how long would it take for you to be ready to head out?
I was ready like 3 hours ago.
I know I slept in. I never do that. It was quite a pleasant thing. So it will just be you, or will any of your scouts be joining us?
The chieftain has just approved for me to go.
Right. Then I say we gather up our stuff and go, because we got a 2-day trip, and maybe even think about more of our plan as we get closer.
Sounds fair. I will inform Wildheart that we are prepared to go, and I believe she will see us off.
Good.
I'm not going to give you a sappy goodbye. Maybe I'll be back. Who knows what I'm going to find in there.
Whatever it is, I hope it's what you're looking for.
Thank you. I'll see if I can find anything in there for you.
We'll see.
Wink.
I'm leading Buttercup and Thistle over your way.
I thank you in Elvish. It's just a plain, simple thank you in Elvish.
That's kind of slangy there, Zonomus.
Well, we're wild and free out here in the frontier.
Oh, gotcha.
So you see Dreaming Fox approach, and he does have like some saddlebags kind of thrown over one shoulder, and he also tosses another like bag into the back of your cart. Compliments of the chief.
Konnor, do you want to fly this morning or this afternoon? Because I'm only going to do one.
Let's do it this morning.
Okay.
Well, before you do that, we need to talk and say goodbyes.
Of course.
So it's basically a Heward's handy spice pouch. It's a common magic item. This belt pouch appears empty and has 10 charges. While holding the pouch, you can use an action to expend one of the charges, speak the name of any non-magical food seasoning, and remove a pinch of the desired seasoning from the pouch.
Amazing.
Mockers just going to
We're
dump
gonna have
the
some
whole
good
thing
food
in.
now.
The pouch regains 1d6 plus 4 expended charges daily at dawn. Yeah, you head towards the exit to camp, where you do see Chief Wildheart. She comes to you, Gideon, and just lightly once more brushes your hair back behind your ears and just kind of tilts her head. Does this not get in your way?
I was actually thinking about getting some kind of maybe like a bandana type thing to.
I thought you were going to join my braid circle.
I'm about getting like a bandana type thing to kind of pull my hair back.
No, she like actually very quickly just like turns you around. And again, she's basically like the same as your height. But yeah, very, very deftly, very quick fingers. You know, she's obviously used to doing this. And it is something she actually would do for you when you were much smaller. She pulls your hair back, and instead of the child braids that she would once put in, she does give you full warrior braid before just patting your shoulders and saying, that should help.
I think that looks a lot better. Thank you, Mother.
You're welcome.
We got your gifts, and we thank you for the use of Dreamin' Fox. We'll have him back to you in no time.
She nods and says, I know. He always finds a way of meandering back.
And it means something that we have your blessing. Thank you for that.
Go. Do what you need to do. We will be here if you wish to return.
Yes. Or I will find you wherever you go.
And whether we shall meeteth again, I knoweth not yet. If we do meeteth again, we shall smile and knoweth this meeting was well madeth.
I want to make a grand exit. Just
Well, me too.
yeah. You make
Everybody gets a grand exit.
Hold on. I blow my whistle, and here comes Thunderstep.
I've already said my goodbye to Opix. I'll get on my horse, on Thistle, and turn and put my back to the camp and ride out, calmly walking just a bit, stop and wait for everyone else, but I kind of just, not super stealthily, just no pomp and circumstance, reach into my pocket, pull out a Trito, drop my hand to the side, kind of twist it around between my fingers a little bit, and drop it on the ground.
So I will super majestically, in a way that I can't describe, turn into a bird and grab Konnor and go into with my back to the rising sun, because we're going west. But then I throw him and swoop under him and catch him. Hey, we learned tricks, we practiced.
Yeah.
So, you set off once more into the frontier. Dreaming Fox jumps up onto a handsome Appaloosa horse, riding along with you, and he leads you true. He's a scout, he knows this land better than any, and leads you for the next couple of days before the mesa comes into view. Jutting up from the landscape, impossible to miss, large, imposing, bands of red, yellow, orange rock that have been weathered over the centuries. You can almost feel this place and the presence that has taken residence here.
Red Dirt D&D Tales from the Caliban Frontier is Ash King as our Dungeon Master, Brooke Bullock as Macron Stoneshaper, Johnny Payne as Zonimus Dinar, Kiri Hester as Poppy Tealeaf, and I'm Michael Cross as Gideon Block. Our theme music was created by the cinemagician P.J. Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride. Our sound effects and additional music courtesy of Monument Studios, Andrew Sitkoff, and TabletopAudio.com. We here at Red Dirt D&D could really use your help in getting the word out about us. If you like what you've heard, make sure to rate us and leave a comment. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and RedDirtDND.com. Tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D and share us on social media. And we have new content on our YouTube and Twitch pages. Just search for Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/RedDirtDND. We have several giving levels, including early listening to shows and access to our Discord server. Join us next time as we go deeper into the Caliban Frontier.
Got his face buried on like the back side or whatever.
Where's your other hand?
Konnor wakes up and
Between two pillows. Yeah.
Those are pillows!
He's willing to go for it, but you gotta be willing to meet him halfway.
He'll go 90, but you have to go that last 10.
I didn't catch your name, by the way.
I am called Little Wildheart.
That makes sense. Well, Little Wild Heart.
Actually, sorry,
Nope.
Nope.
Rickon.
11.
Forgot. 11.
I used to know her as Ilyana.
The hidden name.
Oh no.
Don't tell her I told you.
Now you have all our passwords.
Your password is insecure.
He moves like an awkward fawn.
Well, yes. But he also has a wisdom that...
Sorry.
You want to try that line again?
It's non-existent. He has the wisdom like a squirrel. He has the wisdom.
He has the wisdom of a plate of mashed potatoes.
The wisdom of a plate of
These things I could have taken with a straight face.
Let's try that again.
Leads you out of the tent into the morning sunlight.
You hear Gideon's knees and hips just kind of creaking.
I get up. Okay.
Because he had to sit to the ground.
God.
And I'm the stinky one. What is that?
We have to listen to this every morning.
Well, that's why it always stinks every morning when we wake up.
Because he's got no.
Why does that smell? Where's Gideon?
That's why I like sleeping outside.
Mockern, Konnor, y'all doing anything special?
Y'all still spooning?
No. It was the one time.
And it was cold. He was cold. I touched his little body. He didn't have hardly any heat rating on him. I was being helpful.
No, it's Mockern and Konnor at the same time go like, it was hot, it was cold.
It was like this little ice block.
Wow.
I could just snuggle up next to him.
I was dreaming of the finest leather I'd ever touched. It was just so smooth. Anyway, never mind.
Okay. Anyway.
I need an adult.
Our paths will cross, if the gods allow.
In campaign 2, second season.
You should get some sauce this time.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's a spicy
You
spicy
barely
sauce.
touched the spice that they have in here.
Stop teasing him,
This
Solomon.
is gonna-
I'm not teasing.
You know what happened, and you're just teasing.
But it was funny. So if we can have some more humor on the trip, time goes by
You guys
fast.
are having that conversation like
I
Gideon and I are
don't
walking off to go
I
get
don't
the
need
stuff.
us to be trying to be real sneaky, and Mockrin's over in a bush,
Screaming.
just screaming.
Steven,
Chugging down
whistle.
the
It comes out just
didn't
as
somebody
spicy
warn
as
me?
it went in.
Compliments of the chief.
Presents.
It's okay to look in there, see what that is.
No, it's like the birthday card. You have to ignore the money.
If we do meeteth again, we shall smile and knoweth this meeting was well madeth.
Word.
Brooke, is that what you were Googling over there? I saw you Googling things.
I totally was. I was Googling Shakespearean goodbyes. And then I stole from a couple, so.
I blow my whistle, and here comes Thunderstep.
Do you just like stand there with your like legs apart, kind of bow-legged? Just up from the ground, boom!
I run up onto the cart and jump.
All right.
And she appears
Twist
right
in
below
slow
me.
motion.
And that's why Gideon will have no more children.
So
Because he landed on a horse.
let's go.
He has some of that spice too.
I'm going to.
Ash is broken
God.
at the end of the table.
Good night, everybody.
Kind of twist it around between my fingers a little bit and drop it on the ground.
Like, I get it, but you're also just like this old lady in the park feeding the birds. But I understand.
Respect your elders.
It's a super significant offering that you're making to your deity.
Drive by jackalope.
Well, with my back to the rising sun, because we're going west.
So this is less, Konnor like riding on your back, and more rescuers down under when Marthite like has the kid like in her claws and is just like skimming him along the surface of the lake.
We learned tricks. We practiced.
Yeah.
We've had time.
Insert never-ending story sounds. Right?